Good morning, David Kelly here for Grassroots Vegan. I just got up, had a late night last night. My son and I were watching the hockey game against the New York Rangers and LA Kings. What a game! Overtime into two periods, and boy, both teams played solid hockey right to the very end. And of course, if you watch the game, the Kings won, rightfully so. They deserved it. Anyway, so when I get up in the morning, I haven't shaved yet. See, I've got a rough face there. My hair is a mess. Yeah, so I thought I would come to you this morning unkempt. This is what I look like when I wake up. So when I get up in the morning, I like to read a chapter out of the good book, the Bible. Now I notice when I'm looking at this in my video cam on my iMac, the letters come out backwards. So everything's coming out reverse, like a mirror image on that. And I don't know why that is. If there's a way of changing that, I appreciate somebody letting me know. But anyways, so I like to read a chapter out of the Bible in the morning. That's kind of how I start my day. I wake up, I give thanks to the Creator, the divine being, and then I open up the good book and get inspired. And then I actually have another book that I read a little bit out of. It's called The Bible of Success, which is completely coming from a different place. This is more to do with motivation and material success. So, but the reason why I'm bringing this up this morning was because I read an interesting passage. I'm reading the book of Matthew right now, and it's about the life of Jesus and his journey on this earth and what he taught his disciples and whoever was willing to listen. And now, where is the passage here? I thought this was quite relevant for myself and for any of us who are in the raw food movement or the low-fat vegan movement, or anybody who really places a lot of importance on what they eat. And so it goes like this. What goes into the mouth does not make a man unclean. It is what comes out of the mouth that makes him unclean. And then he goes on to say, can you not see that whatever goes into the mouth passes through the stomach and is discarded into the sewer? But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and it is these that make a man unclean. For from the heart come evil intentions, murder, adultery, fornication, theft, perjury, slander. These are the things that make a man unclean. Now, it's one thing I have found. There is a kind of sort of spiritualism that does go on in especially the raw vegan movement, but even amongst vegans and low-fat vegans, and it's almost an attitude of, there's a kind of a belief that by eating clean, healthy food that makes you healthy and vibrant, which it does, that you're coming into a place of awareness that makes you more compassionate, that makes you more peaceful. And some even go as far as to say that if everybody were raw food vegans, or if everybody were vegans, then there probably wouldn't be any wars in the world. So, and yet what Jesus is stating here is that no, it's not so much what goes into the mouth, it's what comes out of it. And it's what's in the heart, because what comes out of the mouth, what we speak, is really what is in our heart. And that determines our cleanliness, is the state of our heart. And I think, now, to put this in context, Jesus is dealing with the religious leaders at that time, the Pharisees and Sadducees, who had a lot of very, strict regulations around how food was eaten and what kinds of food could be eaten. It was they followed a very restrictive diet, and they believed that made them spiritually superior to others. And I think, on a more subtle level, we as vegans can be guilty of the same thing, where we think that because we're eating foods that are more pure, let's say, than what most people are eating, that puts us at a higher level of awareness, and so it's almost like a spiritual superiority that we feel we have. And I think that's mistaken. I think regardless of what you eat, there are a lot of good vegans, there are a lot of bad vegans, there's a lot of good people that eat the standard American diet, and there's a lot of bad people too. In both camps, it's not, what you eat is not does not determine how your heart is. If you have envy, you can have envy as a vegan. I mean, you can be a liar, you can be a cheater, you can be a hater. It's all those things are possible regardless of what you eat. What you eat does not make you the good person. It's what's in your heart, and and to change that is not going to come so much through how you eat, but it's more of a spiritual exploration. It's coming to an awareness that your heart is not perfect, that you have these issues, these traits there that you don't like anymore, and you want to change that. And so you take a conscious effort to transform that in your life. And the thing about being truly spiritual is being humble. The moment that you think, and this is a condition for spirituality, the moment that you think you are more aware of others because of what you eat, then you are no longer more aware. Because the attitude of someone who's truly spiritual, like Jesus Christ, is the attitude of a servant. Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. So that's the place where all of us need to come from if we are seeking a sort of moral perfection in our life. We must come from an attitude of humility, of being humble, and putting others before ourselves. And it's not about what we eat, although what we eat is great. Eating lots of fruits and vegetables definitely makes you feel good. And it does give you a certain feeling of awareness, I have to admit that, but it's not putting you into it does not put you into a place of spiritual superiority. And would we have world peace if everybody in the world were vegans or low-fat vegans or raw vegans or whatever? I would challenge that notion, but that's for another video. So have a great day, and God bless.